Hello there, everybody in the YouTube land.
Hello.
I'm gonna introduce myself and introduce my absolutely lovely guest, and then we'll say hi to everybody. Okay, well, I'm Ette. This is my hobby corner, and my pronouns are very confused right now, and that is perfectly fine and normal. But she, her will be great for today. Michael, what's your name, or what do you feel most comfortable being called on this channel today? And your pronouns, please.
My pronouns are she, her. I'm fine with they, them, but it's preferred are she, her. And my real name is actually Clara, if anyone's curious, but micro after micro is fine.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. That's good.
Yeah.
Yay! Sorry.
Yeah.
I just got a little overexcited there, and I think I've been popping my mic a little, and I'm just sorry. Okay, and I think we should go through everybody to the best of our ability and say hello. And if we miss anybody, give us a shout. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so a hello to Dart. Hello to Omega. Hello to Ox, Fullhammer, Carl Edwards. Oh, Tina, there we are. There she is. And Mark. Hello to Mark. Hello to our Brainless. Hello to Winters. Hello to Tusk. Hello to Tati. Oh my goodness, I think I've got... Oh, and Mr. Wonderful. Have we got everybody? Oh, and there's a Tasha. Hello.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's everyone. But
I think. Yeah.
I think so.
I think so. Wait. Oh, Anna Crafty. Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, sorry about that. Almost missed you. I don't want to miss out my friends. So, how are you today, Micro?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bunged up. Got a little bit of a cold, but that's fine. I've got my cough sweets and my lemon and honey tea and ready to do this. But I do have a little thing to say before we start. I just wanted to say a little PSA because this month is May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And could everybody please make sure they take time to check in on themselves and their own mental health to make sure that they're on track. If they're not doing so great, to reach out and ask for help, which is not a dirty word to be saying or asking anybody. May that be asking your friend to spend some time with you or a professional. Just please reach out to the best of your ability. And if you're doing good yourself, have a little reach out to your friends and see how they're doing. And I know when I ask my friends and people I care about, or anyone actually, how they're doing, I ask them to tell the truth. I'm not asking to be like, I'm okay, all right then, problem solved, let's move on, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like we should be doing this all the time, but using May as a little reminder to keep on remembering to do it, you know? And we need to look after one another.
Yeah.
You feel good about that too, Michael?
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Good. Okay, now on a slightly lighter note, what is your hobby that you're going to be talking about today, Michael?
I'm gonna talk about history.
History?
Yes, because it says so in the title. No, yeah, I don't talk much about history in this community because it's not
Mhm.
just not something that comes up a lot, and I thought it could be something that people didn't know about me that I might think is fun to learn.
Mm.
And yeah, of course, it's kind of important to know your history to know what we as a humanity in general has done wrong in the past, or how we have arrived at to the place where we are. I mean, if you take for example with gladiators, and like they say, talk about the we assume stuff about science, and then, well, if you actually learn about it, you see that it is a millennia long process of trial and error that has led us to have the conclusions that we have.
Yeah, I think that is why it's really important. We can learn a lot from history,
Yeah.
and we don't want it to repeat itself half the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what would you say would be the part of history that you enjoy learning about yourself?
All of it, broadly speaking, but um, but just because I'm Swedish, Sweden becomes close to home. That I
Mhm.
like to learn about my own country's history, but um, yeah, and actually, because of Game of Thrones, I started reading after watching that TV show. I started reading the books, and then I learned that the writer of those books was inspired by the War of the Roses. That I'm guessing
Oh.
you probably know what the War of the Roses is, but there was a conflict in England in the 1400s, and that then I got interested in that, and I started reading a bit about English history, and yeah, so
Ah. I
um,
actually don't know anything about the War of Roses, actually. My
okay,
brain just doesn't
um,
retain that kind of information.
okay. I kind of thought it was something people knew, but maybe not. Like
Yeah,
in the UK at least. Um,
you're welcome to share.
um,
Even if
yeah.
you,
What?
yeah, you're welcome to share, even if it's just a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. When Henry the Sixth was King of England, he had my people think modern historian thinks it might have been he was schizophrenic or something like that, but he was considered a very weak king, and so there was conflict between like Henry VI was a member of House Lancaster, um, um, and then there was a conflict between House Lancaster and the House of York, and then
Uh-huh.
eventually Edward IV, he was of House York. He took over the throne, and then Henry VI took over the throne again, and then it was Henry IV again, and Edward IV again, and then eventually Edward died, and his son became king, and then it was Henry III, and then the House of Lancaster had died out by then, but then Henry Tudor, who would made a claim for the throne and won over Richard III and became Henry the Seventh. So
Ah.
yeah, that's a very quick review of what happened.
I think I never learned a lot about it because, I mean, in Scottish schools, we learn a lot about, well, we do learn about the English history, which that is, but we learn more about like the Jacobite. period and that sort of stuff, and you only learn sort of more like World War II, World War One sort of stuff in high school, and then unless you pick history, that's kind of it. You don't learn any more, and you have to. In our high schools here, you have to pick between geography, modern studies, or history, and I did modern studies.
Okay.
So I would learn more about the political system now, rather than like overall history, etc.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's it's pretty interesting that you you know more about the history of the UK than probably I do. But I learned more by myself about the sort of darker histories
Okay.
in Scotland / Edinburgh. You know, all the Burke and Hare kind of things.
Yeah.
Do you know much about the Burke and Hare?
I didn't hear that. I don't know what that is. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Well, maybe I can help you with this one.
Yeah.
Well, there was two guys. I can't remember if they were from Ireland or not, but they were in Edinburgh, and what they did was they stole dead bodies and sold them to Surgeons Hall, which is like a school for doctors and surgeons, and so that they had like dead bodies to practice on. But then they started. It's quite grim, actually. So then they kind of realized that instead of just collecting and digging up dead bodies, it would be easier to kill people and then sell them.
Yeah.
They got more money for the freshness. Very grim, sad part of history, but
definitely.
it was really important, and they did get punished for their crimes. And if you go into Surgeons Hall today, you can actually see them, or at least one of them.
In what way can you see them?
They kept him for science.
Okay.
Just having a look at the comments. Are we European? I don't think we are anymore.
I see it European because it's still part of the European continent. The island didn't move to a different continent.
That's true. That is very true. And there's a Lee Williams and a Sir Little Wolf in the chat. So hello there. Do you think like that? Sorry, I got distracted by Mark's comment. Hi, Doc. Fresh delivery of seed body, but he's still alive. Bang, not anymore. Well, yeah, kind of. Kind of what happened, yeah. And there's a sort of club area here where they actually took the dead bodies through to Surgeons Hall, and people party in them, and no idea what went on. Some people go because of the macabre part of it.
Yeah. My sister's comment it kind of made me think of that "Bring Out Your Dead" scene in Monty Python. I'm not dead yet.
Exactly. It's we did have a massive plague problem where there's a whole city under my city here. I seriously think you'll find my city's history really interesting, and I'll have to find some stuff for you to check out.
Yeah, would love that.
It's maybe not it's very grim kind of history, but very interesting nonetheless. It actually made me excited about learning history.
Yeah.
Like, where you are, do you have places like we have like the Edinburgh Dungeons where they pick like very poignant characters in history and almost do like a sort of interactive play? And it's all very spooky because they have Sonny Bean and his family, which were cannibals. They have like all these people, and in London they've got like Sweeney Todd.
Okay. Not that I know of. This isn't really in the history, and this is more a myth, but it's like this ghost story sort of thing. There was this street on one in the old town of Stockholm where the what's the English name? When someone's being executed, the person who kills the person being
The
um,
Executioner.
yeah, the executioner. Then where that person lives, and then there's apparently a person who was the executioner apparently haunts that street or something, and it's more myths than history. But I thought it seemed like a fitting thing to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's the kind of history that Edinburgh soaked in, you know.
Yeah. One of Henry VIII's wives, Anne Boleyn, there's a rumor that she haunts the Tower of London, and the actress Natalie Dormer played Anne Boleyn in a TV show. So I imagine that it's just Natalie Dormer going around there in Halloween getup. Yeah. I mean, places have ghost stories. Yeah.
I do like a little spooky ghost story, especially if it is linked to like a fact, like something that's actually really real and did happen.
Yeah.
If you see, Crafty knows where I'm talking about, the Edinburgh Dungeons. You'll definitely have to, if you ever come to the UK, most cities in the UK do have somewhere like that. And if it's somewhere I can go with you, I would definitely go with you and take you with me. Because I
would love that.
It's got the story of like the little drummer boy who like went down he had to go down the mine and he was playing the drums, but he never came out again. And you know, people supposedly say you can still hear the drums and da 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 da, but that was like a real story about the little boy that went in and never came out, you know.
Yeah. And I can imagine there's noises in there that kind of sound like drums, and then people, is it him? Is it the ghost? Like, yeah, people mistake weird noises for the drums. I can imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, you can think like it was a mining place, so like just a couple of rocks, like hitting on the right rock will make the little tapping sounds, you know, that you can think from a distance. And I don't know, there is something about it that's great fun and spooky.
Yeah.
Do you have like a fun and spooky story from where you're from?
No, I can't come up with anything right now that's spooky. I just remembered a fun story that's about my own very recent history, and that's that my grandmother on my mother's side, she worked in a hair salon, and and there's at least a rumor that she secretly sold condoms to the women who came there to cut their hair, and
Uh-huh.
like it was very controversial. It was very bad. It was like in the 50s or 60s, maybe. Yeah, people. So
That's
she was relatively open-minded about that for her time.
ah, that's good though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
I love learning about like family histories as well. Like
yeah,
where people's ancestries are from, and I feel like every family has one of them special little stories, like whether if it's good or bad, I'm just calling it a special story because it's close to their heart. And
yeah.
um yeah, like we had one where like my granddad slept for the air raids in World War II. and and he managed to sleep through both houses next door being bombed.
Wow.
And he was perfectly fine. He was still in bed. He never went to the air raid shelter because he was fast asleep.
Hmm.
But my nana, great nana, came back and beat the poop out of him for being such a noonie
Yeah.
and miss it. Like, imagine sleeping through the air raid shelter, like, of all
Yeah.
things.
Hmm.
Do you
Um,
think, like, oh, sorry, you go.
I didn't hear where, if you said where that was. Was that also in Edinburgh in Scotland?
No, it was in Liverpool, which is in England.
Yeah, okay.
It being a docking city, it was absolutely brutalized in World
Yeah.
War Two
Yeah,
because, well, the dock city.
yeah. I know that England was bombed, but I didn't know if Scotland was bombed during World War Two.
I'm actually the only one from Scotland in my family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fun fact. and oh, and there's a Mario.
Hi,
Hello,
Mario.
Mario. So, would you have like when I say favorite, I don't mean the best. I mean
No.
like the most interesting or appealing person to learn about. Do you have a so-called favorite person to learn about in history?
Mm, no, that kind of feels like what depends on what topic you choose. But
Ah.
um, one person I think is very fascinating is Queen Christina of Sweden, because her father was King Gustav Adolf, and he really wanted a son, and um, but and he and his wife had the queen had a few miscarriages, and then they got Christina, and then everyone were like hoping for a son, and then of course she was a daughter, and then he was happy about her anyway, and he decided that he would raise her as though she was a son, sort of, and
Oh.
she still wore feminine clothes and stuff, but she was taught things that were often taught to boys, and um, yeah, so she was relatively independent for a woman of her time. This was in I Google when she lived. She yeah in the 1600s somewhere. So and yeah, so she was relatively independent, and then and Gustav Adolf died in the 30 year, no, maybe not 30 year war, a war. He died in a war, and she became queen relatively young, and because she was, as I said, very independent, and she had a lot of opinion, and this, of course, kind of the men in the royal court didn't really like that, but they of course had to obey the queen.
That's true.
Yeah, and this the experts seem to be pretty certain that she was a lesbian, and yeah, and in love with a woman who was named Ebba Bagge. And yeah, this letter is where they talk very lovingly to each other, but of course this wouldn't have been accepted. So they couldn't say it right, like straight out. And there's also people who claim she was transgender, but that I think is simply an interpretation of it, like she had a relatively masculine personality, and she like was like very she behaved in some ways like a boy was, like a man was expected to act. So I think that was more that she was independent and all of that. So I don't think she was trans, but lesbian, yeah.
See, I like finding out this sort of stuff because,
yeah,
and I mean, I don't know. I just, maybe it's just me that I'm like, oh, finally some representation from back then. You know, like I get excited when I hear people that were potentially LGBTQ plus, you know, in the past as well. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie The Favourite?
No, I have not.
It's about the British Queen, Anne, I think, one of the Stuart queens, and like it's about her and her two lovers, and the lovers are fighting for her affection, and yeah, it's really fun.
Ooh,
it's a good movie.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Just super quick, I'll say hello to Slim.
By the way, female lovers, so it's a very lesbian movie.
Yay! That makes it better.
Yeah.
There has been I can't remember all the names, but remind me to tell you, and because there's this YouTuber I watch who's a lesbian, and she's actually visually impaired and hard of hearing as well. So she actually does a lot of history on like people with different kinds of abilities throughout history, and people who are LGBTQ plus in history. And one of them was, I'll have to find her. Can't remember. I remember her girlfriend's name's Clara. I remember that. What's her name? She's amazing, and she's also really beautiful as well. She looks like she's just been picked out of the 50s.
Oh,
I love.
Do you mean Jessica?
Yes.
Calvin? Yes.
Yeah,
her girlfriend's name is Claudia, but her assistant's
not
name.
Clara. Oh.
Yeah, but her assistant's name is Clara.
Oh, silly me. Oh. They're both C's, and I'm dyslexic, and I'm claiming that.
Yeah. I think Clara is a lesbian or bisexual too. I think she's dating a woman.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about as I've not watched the updates on their videos for a little while because I got overwhelmed with the amount of YouTube videos to watch. And Slim, it's certainly not, because that's not the kind of channel that we are. Thank you very much. This is when we were all very well behaved and we've got our learning caps on.
Sometimes I see in chat, and when I come into a chat saying, "Hi, lovely people," and I get that from Jessica.
Yeah,
and she says that instead of,
that's where, because I started saying it too, and I'm like, where did that come from? It must be her.
Yeah.
And she signs it too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
See, and she did this amazing video on oh no, see, this is my brain not functioning. A really famous person that was anti-fascist who potentially was a lesbian, or at least into women, and it was just about a really strong female role model that was just, we need some of that, you know?
Yeah.
We need some more representation there.
Yeah.
Because people forget women are strong too, as are everybody of many different genders.
Yep.
Oh, thank you, Brainless, for popping that in the side chat. But also, just a little side note, because I think there's maybe been a little confusion somewhere in the chat about UK. A lot of people that are from Scotland don't identify with being in the UK, and that's actually a little taboo subject right now.
Yeah.
So we'll just not and come back to sitting in the daisy chain corner with like little daisy chains and pretend that's not going on. This is avoidance here. But yeah, do you like to learn about like the different lifestyles like some scientists had and stuff like that as well then? Because I know you're into your sciencey stuff that I don't quite understand as well, because I'm not very good at that. But
I'd like lifestyles too, to learn about that. Yeah.
I think like it, and a lot of the quite interesting ones were from where I'm from a little while ago. I'm saying a little while ago, but I mean like Marie Curie and people like that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about her, but right, Blameless. That's not one. You mean invaded and took over? As this is a history channel. This is now a history channel. That's what happened.
Yep.
We were glossing over it. I was telling you not. You're gonna have to sit in the corner and read the dictionary now. That's it. That's it now. You're sitting in the corner reading the dictionary. Sucks to be you, who's also dyslexic, which means it's even harder to read the dictionary. So, oh, there's a fun fact in the corner. I'm saying in the corner because in my thing it's in the corner.
Yeah.
Mark Caesar's ex was born and raised in Australia by Scottish parents. That's interesting. That does happen a lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And thank you for sharing it. My brain's just a little bit fried as cold and flu tablets is definitely kicking in.
Mhm.
I'm holding it together. But is there a particular, how do I say this? Like, I really, like, right, okay. I'm going to take a deep breath and I will try that sentence again. We've got this. Okay. Do you also like, because the part of history I relate to a lot, because I did costume design for a little amount of time. I did it for like 2 years. The part of history that I really like and identify with and find really fascinating is fashion. But I don't mean fashion as in like runway model stuff. I mean like the sort of everyday people kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and I just
Yeah.
find it really fascinating how it comes around again and where it comes
Yeah.
in. Like shell suits. Why is that coming back in? I've seen a couple of people with shell suits recently. Highly flammable, very dangerous. Be careful.
Hmm.
With
I'm I don't know a lot about the fashion, about the history of fashion, but yeah, like it'll be interesting too. Like one interesting fact that I have is that high heels started as riding shoes for men, so that they could much easier get into the part of the saddle where you put your feet, so
that,
that they,
that makes so much more sense.
yeah,
Like that's just
um,
clicked in my brain. That's really cool.
yeah,
Like, do you like to also like learn about like strange contraptions and like
yeah,
medicines from back when? Like
yeah.
literally, like what is it about putting a frog on your forehead that people thought was going to help? Like it's amazing. I love the idea
Yeah,
and concept, but where did that come from? Why?
yeah,
Who went?
people
Hmm,
are weird.
frog on your forehead, garlic under the bed, you'll be fine.
Mm. Yeah, people can be really weird. And yeah, those kind of things are interesting too.
Ah,
Mm.
Ox has helped. He says
Stirrup,
it's
yes.
stirrups. Mhm.
And my
Oh wait,
Caesar has also helped.
yeah, sorry, I just seen just now too. So thank yous for helping. And words are very hard today. And yeah,
Yeah.
do you, so whereabouts see like would you say and maybe I asked this, but do you have like a particular like genre of history that you like to learn about? Like, I like to learn about the gruesome history sides and the the, the bizarre, and obviously
Yeah.
I said about the fashion and that sort of stuff. But is there like a part that you like the most?
Um, maybe this is because of my ADHD, but I'm kind of all over the place. So not really like, not really one topic that I'm better at than others. So not really. But yeah, of course, weird things like you mentioned can be fun. And yeah, sciencey stuff and LGBTQ stuff, something that connects to something else that I also like.
Yeah, that I totally get you because that's pretty much me with all of my hobbies. It's just bits and pieces of whatever,
Yeah,
whatever was my interest in that moment.
yeah.
I quite like learning about historical serial killers and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah,
Grim.
that can be interesting too.
Oh,
But in
very
between,
interesting.
yeah, I mean, Grimm stories can be sort of ghost stories, but real. Like it,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh no.
it can be exciting in that way.
I mean, I don't like reading the unsolved cases.
Yeah,
That just gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know. But some of them are like really fascinating. Like, you know, the ones that like the room one's two other numbers and another one. About the guy who was found in that hotel room that nobody knew anything about. But that's me digressing a little bit now.
yeah.
But do you have a particular thing that you would like to share with us today?
Um,
Or just bits and
I,
bobs of a lot?
yeah, it was just bits and bobs. Yeah, everything. You you have to be more specific.
Okay. um. Hmm. Hmm. Oh no. Uh, okay, we did potential favorite historical figure. We did potential favorite sort of genre. I'm trying to think of another good thing to kind of help lead you into another nice story that you can tell us. Oh, I know. One of my favorite things is animals. And do you
Yeah.
have a favorite animal story in history?
Uh, oh, Charles Darwin. I'm not entirely sure if this is true, but
Mm-hmm.
apparently he liked to eat a member of every species he studied. So
What?
yeah, I don't know why, but I've heard that he liked to try to eat, just eat them to see what they tasted like.
You can't see my face right now because my face rig was playing up, but I literally, my jaw did drop. Like,
Yeah,
let's hope he never ever studied poison frogs.
yeah. I I can imagine that he probably skipped the one they knew were poisonous.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Imagine eating. Like, would he keep their, like, bones and study their bones? Is that why he ate them? Or is it just because he
I don't
wanted
know.
to?
I don't know. I don't know more about the story. I just heard it on QI once.
That's really popped my brain.
Yeah.
See, here's me thinking you were gonna tell me like a beautiful but tragic story of like Greyfire's Bobby or something. No. Charles Darwin eating the animals he
Yeah.
studied.
Yeah.
That is one thing I do find really interesting. You know that how the different animals evolved
Yeah.
throughout history.
And,
Like he did the birds, and I can't remember the species of birds with their beaks and how
finches.
that's it. With how
Yeah.
different their beaks and stuff were to do different things. I just think that's really
Yeah.
fascinating.
And natural history is something I love too. And of course, you eventually get like they blend together to like history and then the evolution of our species. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
Would you say you have a most interesting evolved animal? Like,
Um,
cause like, how do I say it? I don't know how to explain it. Like, there's this if there's like a particular type of animal that like you find just fascinating because it evolved in such a way that it's just perfect for its environment.
I mean, if it's perfect for its environment, it's a little like crocodiles, for example, hasn't changed a lot in millions of years because they have found a niche where they don't need to change that much. And same thing with sharks. But I don't know if I would say that those are more or less interesting. But I mean, microraptors are pretty interesting. They have four wings, so which of course is kind of unusual. So they have wings on
Oh,
both their forearms and on their legs.
I
So
never
they're really
realized
cool.
they had them on their legs. I
Yeah,
knew they had them on
they
their arms. Well, oh
yeah
yeah, sorry, did. Yeah, but
did
you're a microraptor.
yeah
They're really cool. I
yeah
remember
no,
when it sort of first came out that they had feathers, or at least that I registered that they had feathers, and I just remember my mind was blown because I seen them in Jurassic Park, was it? And they were like little
yeah
scaly things, and then next minute, like I found out that was certainly not the case, and I was like, what? Because apparently
yeah.
Jurassic Park being an educational film, like
Yeah, it wasn't.
certainly
Um,
not. They got a lot of facts
yeah.
wrong.
And that's also like the history of how we have depicted dinosaurs. Like in Darwin's days, they were like these scary monsters basically, and then we
Mm.
made them more and more animal-like, and now we actually depict them like actual animals, not monsters, and they like the way that modern paleo artists depict them is more more realistic and they're more like actual real animals.
Well, I mean, they were, weren't they? They were.
Yeah,
Well,
of course they were.
yeah. I was about to say, well, they were dinosaurs, but that's just like a subgenre, like just being like, oh,
Yeah,
they were birds, you know.
yeah, yeah,
But it just fascinates me how it went from, like, as you were saying, like these big scary monsters, but now they're like on children's onesies, and like they're drawn so cute now. Like
that's
I
not
know
quite what I'm
they're not the real representation, but
That's not
like
quite what I meant, but I more mean when paleo artists actually try to depict them like they think they might have lived, like it's more,
with horns
um,
and stuff.
that today they have these feathers and they're more like colorful and they're acting like animals. Like you can sometimes see what the artist got inspired by instead of like in the past when they made them that they were just mindless beasts. But of
Yeah,
course, you have those cute children's story dinosaurs too.
yeah. I just kind of meant, and I was explaining myself so good. I kind of meant like they've now been normalized that
Yeah,
much, if you know what I mean. That it's like, oh yeah, my kid sleeps with one. It's like,
yeah,
oh, okay, like, but it was, see, it wasn't like even Jurassic Park. They made them scary and savage, as if they were just trying out to
yeah,
kill you. When they
yeah.
weren't. They were just like a lion, or sorry, the budgies now chiming in. They were just like a
The
lion,
dinosaurs
or
wanted to say something.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the birds are the closest, aren't they?
They are dinosaurs.
Yeah. And I remember being told like the chicken was like the closest, and just looking at a chicken and being like, what?
I've heard that, but I don't know how a chicken is more closely related to the rest of them than, for example, a budgie. I'm not sure how that would work.
I don't know. Oh, apparently that's the buzzer. I wouldn't know exactly what, because I would think like maybe like the birds that are scavengers. That would make me
Yeah,
think more of a sort of, is it a pterodactyl?
yeah, those
That
are
would make
not
me.
dinosaurs.
Wait, what? Am I about to get
Pterodactyls are
learned?
not dinosaurs. Pterodactyls are reptiles.
Well, I have learned something today.
Yeah.
Wow. What? Childhood ruined. What?
No, not ruined, just that they,
Well, I can't
yeah,
say they're my favorite
slightly,
dinosaur
no.
because they're not. Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get a new favorite dinosaur. But I also love that absolutely nobody till today has corrected me in my entire life. They must have just gone, oh. Uh-oh.
But
We're
wait,
getting some facts here now. Matt Powell catches T-Rexes and makes it play with Dr. Peel.
no, he doesn't. The T-Rex catches Matt Powell. Because Matt Powell can't see the T-Rex because he doesn't believe it exists.
Oh, actually, yeah, you have a fair point.
Yeah. Mhm.
And Ox are saying that chickens are bloodthirsty animals. They will attack each other if it sees one drop of blood.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Although, is that why they get to wear them funky glasses sometimes?
I don't know.
Because I've heard that they get like these little visor glasses, and it's
Um,
almost like a blinker, and it kind of stops them attacking each other.
no clue. I don't know.
Ox is really not happy with the chickens. But Brainless does have a question, and we will let him out of the naughty corner just to ask it, and then he'll be going straight back there after causing drama. Oh, and Mark also says crocodiles are his favorite dinosaur.
Yeah.
And
Crocodiles aren't dinosaurs either.
oh no. Oh no, everybody's childhood ruined. But how would that work then, Micro? And Brainless says, how can birds be related to dinosaur, but dinosaur are a diverse group of reptile because birds are not reptile?
Birds are dinosaurs, so they would be equally much reptile. Um, I'm not entirely sure if they would like exactly what they count as when it comes to reptiles, but um, birds aren't just related to dinosaurs; they are dinosaurs.
They're like they are dinosaurs, and reptiles are maybe like dinosaurs' cousins.
Maybe. I'm googling.
You googling, and I'm like sitting here like, Wait, what? A lot of dinosaurs are not reptiles, they just look like reptiles. I think I need to stop getting my history lessons from
From the side
from
chat.
from the side chat. But also, Ox does say that chickens do wear red blinders so that they don't attack other chickens.
Why specifically red blindness?
It does something to the blood.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, they do. They do look like little. But I wouldn't want to take all of them. Right, I have to not read the side chat anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like birds and dinosaurs are part of reptilia, so they would be reptiles, I guess, but they're
Hmm.
not part of the things that we usually call reptiles.
Ah.
I I think most people wouldn't call dinosaurs or birds reptiles. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're under reptilia, um, according to Wikipedia.
I'm just sitting staring at my budgie like, you little dinosaur, you. I thought I had a bird. Turns out I got a dinosaur. Well, a bird dinosaur. And I have a lizard who's not a dinosaur. And a very evolved creature. My brain's just like I feel awfully silly for not knowing all this before. I'm being told to now read the side chat but not read the side chat and then Brainless says this also, but like Ox goes into a tiny bit more detail. So the blinders make everything red so they can't see the blood and it dulled the urge to attack. So that's why chicken have sunglasses.
Yeah.
See, I did know something.
Yeah.
I still feel like we're on the topic of history, but also just a little bit.
That's a little bit.
Sorry, I had to take a moment to just absorb pterodactyls are not dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, I mentioned Game of Thrones before, and that's when it was good. It was one of my favorite TV shows. It went downhill in the last few seasons, but Sweden actually had its own sort of real Game of Thrones, and then it was the House of Sverker and Erik, two houses that first one had the throne, and the other one, and they switched for about 100 years and fought each other. So yeah, they sort of had their own there. I don't know that much about that period, but it's kind of Game of Thronesy.
See, I didn't really watch Game of Thrones after I was seeing the first episode and there was some interesting things happening, shall we say, and it made me feel just a lot uncomfortable. So I didn't go back to watch it. Not that I haven't seen that sort of thing before, but I was just kind of like, this feels like a long commitment and it feels like there's going to be a lot of that in it that I do not feel comfortable with at all.
Yes. I feel like I can guess what scene you mean. It's the very last scene, I'm guessing. Yeah,
no, thank you.
it's not like it's like filled with that, but I can understand that. Yeah, if you don't like that, then don't watch the show.
No, and also it was a long commitment to watch a very, very long show.
Yeah.
With that in it regularly. I'm like,
yeah.
this seems a lot for me. I'll maybe not. And then I'll just restart RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, because that is that is definitely one very valid criticism, that it could be a bit too often used rape as a plot point. That it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it. I don't know how regular. I don't remember how regular it was, but it happened more often than it needed to. Definitely.
Hmm. Yeah. I think it was the brother and sister in the first
Um,
episode. At the end, I was like, ugh,
so
no, thank you.
I think I think the scene I'm thinking of actually was the last episode of the last season. Yeah, so I'm thinking of something very different. But yeah, that the brother or sister are having sex. Like, there's not a lot of that. There isn't. But
Well, I
okay,
think there was the R word in it as well, but I was like,
yeah,
no, thank you. And I understand that it does happen. It's a real thing that goes on, etc.,
yeah,
etc. But I was kind of like, I don't think I want to watch that as my hobby.
no, that, yeah,
Maybe if it was like direct a history thing, maybe,
maybe,
yeah,
yeah,
but it
maybe,
wasn't. But the Swedish one you're telling me about sounds like it actually is a direct history, right? Or is it just
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
loosely?
No, that is a real historical event.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do like the outfits and the hair from that time period.
Which time period? I didn't say which time period it was.
Oh, I thought you meant the sort of Game of Thrones one.
Okay.
Is it the
Um,
same or different? Or am I not
no,
confused?
it's Game of Thrones. It's like in a different world, so it's not really a time period. But
Oh,
the real one I'm talking about is in the 1100s and 1200s, I think, somewhere there. Um,
where
yeah,
would that be? Because I thought like it was like the sort of medieval time.
yeah. I
Um,
don't quite
I
remember.
my brain kind of draws a blank when it comes to all this.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes to numbers and figures and stuff like that, my brain just goes, um. I mean, Mark, I don't think we really need hair, but some people like to have hair.
Yeah, I like having hair. Um, yeah, it, yeah, and the Middle Ages seem to have started somewhere fifth or sixth century. So yeah, this war would have been in the Middle Ages. Yeah,
Hmm. Is that? Oh. Hmm. Because we have these books here that kids normally read, called The Horrible Histories, and they have like a whole like loads of books on the Middle Ages, but I can't remember what they called the Middle Ages.
mm.
Because they said like they had the rotten Romans, the vile
Mm.
Victorians, and I can't remember what the Middle Ages was. But I kind of think you would. I mean, it is a little childish, but I kind of think you might enjoy maybe the book series a little bit, like, or at least the facts, or at least appreciate how they lay them out.
Maybe.
Because they have the all the different characters, and they oddly made it a TV series recently,
Mm.
and it's got a plague rat that tells you random facts throughout it.
Cool.
I was watching it with my godson.
One connection with sort of a connection to like the UK, but like more to England, and between England and Sweden is that I King Eric the 14th, he lived at the same time as Elizabeth the First, and
Mm.
but he was like very like he was insane. He murdered some
Oh.
people, and you know Elizabeth the First was of course the daughter of Henry VIII, who murdered several of his wives, and like so yeah, there was apparently talk about Eric the 14th and Elizabeth first getting married, and I'm glad for Elizabeth's sake that that didn't go through. Like, okay, her father is crazy, and then this potential husband is crazy. Like, yeah, Elizabeth of course didn't get married at all when she had decided that. So, yeah, but
Mm.
that wouldn't have been fun to have an insane father and then an insane husband.
Oh no, that does not sound fun at all, but sounds like a very interesting part of history, which I feel like I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to get links sent to be fair.
yeah,
And there's a song, is it Henry the Eighth who had all the
yeah.
different wives? Where it's called the Divorce, Beheaded, and Died,
Mm,
where it goes through all the different wives and says what happened to them,
yeah.
which was like quite an interesting song considering like it's such a grim subject. But
Yeah,
there's all these sort of songs that are relating back to in history, aren't there? Like the children's nursery rhymes and stuff, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Ring Around the Rosies.
I don't really know. I know the name, but I'm not sure what the lyrics are.
It's about, I don't think I can sing it because of, we'll get in troubles, I think. But I believe it has plenty of references to the plague throughout it, with like one of the lines being a pocket full of posies, which they thought could help cure it, I believe. If I'm wrong, side chat, tell me off. But I think I might be right.
Yeah, a pocket full of posies. A tissue, we all fall down.
Yeah. It's not till you kind of hear back a lot of let me start
Yeah,
again. It's not until you hear back a lot of children's nursery rhymes till you actually hear the lyrics and you're like,
yeah,
oh my goodness.
yeah. That can be weird.
Yeah, ashes. They changed it from ashes, ashes, we all fall down to a tissue, we all fall down. So it was a little lighter for younger kids, but it was ashes. Yeah. So,
Mm.
um, and I did see Mark saying he used to have hair on his head, but I think we all agree with Ox here. Then we shall call you smooth, slim, and sexy. And where? Oh yeah, Brainless has sent a link in the side chat to Divorce Beheaded, the song,
Yeah,
which I don't know if we'll be allowed to play it.
I don't know.
Oh, the king sent his daughter to fetch a pail of water. Tissue. Am I having one of them moments where you remember something wrong for a long time? I think I'm having one of them moments. Oh no, my first senior moment.
That was what it said on Google, at least.
Uh-oh, I'm having my first senior moment. Help. Yeah, I'll save it for the Discord, but if you can, do check out that song because it's a really neat song and it is absolutely filled with historical facts. Before you know it, you'll be well learned up.
Could you repeat? I was distracted. Could you repeat the last thing you said?
Oh, I have now been distracted. I forgot what I said. Wait. That's it. Ashes, the tissue, having a senior moment.
Yeah.
To check out the divorce and beheaded song because like this one that this is showing. Let's check that one out. Because it's a very interesting song to be doing. And it's a very good song that's steeped in historical facts. But also there's many groovy songs about highwaymen as well that the same sort of people. Yeah, the musical Six also has a song based on it. Yeah, there's a lot of songs that I kind of like. I wish you were here so like we could sit and watch horrible histories together now because I think you would really like it.
Yeah. After COVID.
Yeah, after COVID, I'll kidnap you. I'll set up a comfy space stone on the sofa, and we'll watch it on the Netflix.
Yay!
Yay!
Is it kidnapping if it's consensual? We can call it kidnapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have anything you'd like to talk about? Because I know I sometimes get really excited about certain things and would like to talk about them. Is there something to do with history or that sort of your sort of hobbies that you would like to share? I know it's a difficult question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
Very loaded.
No, nothing in particular right now that I can come up with that. Yeah, I want to talk about that. But it can be fun to like if you take for example Richard III, the people often have in their mind have the Shakespeare version of Richard III, where he's basically a Disney villain, like just you're evil. But but of course he was a person, and like he was more complicated than that. And I don't know a lot about him, but like I read a book about the War of the Roses by Con Eagleton, and like it is about the whole conflict, and like it is set up like a real novel, but it is these historical events, and at least he gives a more nuanced version of Richard III, and he's said to have killed Edward IV's two sons. So he killed his own nephews. It's not known that it definitely was him, but Con Eagle then kind of gives like because Richard III was born during this conflict, he also would have known, he would have lived through an era where a very young king led to a lot of um, to a war, and then when Edward IV died, Edward V, Edward's son, became king, and at a very young age, and Carnegie then can kind of then think that maybe one reason Richard III killed them was because instead of having another king that was a child, he as an adult would at least he would be better equipped to deal with um, the Game of Thrones, like the political machinations of the
Yeah.
lords.
I think this is very complicated.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe also high purple rhymes with orange, and
Hi, Purple.
is that a dinosaur? Cause you just missed the dinosaur chat. Sorry.
Yeah, there are Triceratops.
Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite see, as I told you earlier. I did not have my glasses on. They're on an adventure. I don't know where exactly they are, but they're on their own adventure right now.
Yeah. I was on Purple's stream a few days ago.
Oh, is my mic being naughty? What?
Maybe.
Maybe. Or
Actually, I shield your. I plugged your this stream on Purple's stream. So yeah, that's how they knew about this.
oh, thank you for doing that, and I'm
You're
glad
welcome.
we've collected a purple.
Yeah.
We got loads of dinos now. Well, we
Yeah.
got two very special dinos.
Yeah.
Happy to have more dinos also, just so you know. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Sorry, my little dino keeps getting involved now. It's that time of day where the swifts start flying about quite a bit to get probably their last or second last dinner or something before it. I don't know, but whatever it is, they're going a bit mental right now. Oh, brainless! Don't be cheeky. Pip is not a dinosaur.
Hey, she's a parrot, so yes, she is.
Oh, maybe I was the one that took it wrong. I thought this was the age joke again. I was like, you can't say
Yeah.
that. It was an age joke.
Yeah.
But we'll just move on from that. You cheeky,
Yep.
cheeky silly goose there. Sorry, you go.
Yeah. Slightly more serious topic. Like that I sort of was that Sweden had its first gay pride parade in 1979, I think. And then, of course, there was the AIDS crisis, and a few years ago there was a Swedish author who wrote about this in a series of books. Like the characters were fictional, but it was, of course, took place during the 80s, and you and it was kind of bizarre to see the difference of how it was to be a queer person in the 80s and to be a queer person here now, that how quickly it can change.
It is I don't know exactly about there, but it is bizarre how quickly time can move on with them things and
Yeah,
can be more welcoming. But there's
yeah,
still so far to go. Like we can
yeah,
be proud of
definitely.
accomplishments that's happened so far, but I feel like regardless, the fight is still not over.
Yeah. One
Um,
thing that one thing
yeah,
that I think is important, there are some people, a few, not that many, but that seem like they see so much negativity that they kind of feel like they are ready to give up. And
no,
I
never
think it's
give up.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's important to see all the progress we've already made to motivate us and see that yeah, we can do even more. And to
Exactly.
yeah,
I mean, obviously, I cannot say names or anything because that's not who I am, and it's not the right thing to do. But I was cutting an elderly gentleman's hair, and he was in his 60s, and he came out to me and he said I was one of the first people I told, and he was only coming out that year, which was two
well,
years ago, like two,
yeah,
3 years ago. And
yeah,
I was just like, wow, and I
that's
had,
awesome.
yeah, it's awesome that he did eventually find courage to come out because he said he knew for a very long time.
Yeah,
But in his generation, it was illegal in the
yeah,
UK. So the fact that he saw the change and he seen me just be myself in the shop and all of these sorts of things, and he was like, oh well, things are just kind of changing now, and then he felt comfortable and happy to come out to me, which
yeah,
made me feel very special.
yeah.
And then that is when he very stereotypically then told me all about all the musicals he's watched ever. And I thought that was very
Yeah,
cute because he
yeah,
must he must have heard me humming the songs just while I was sweeping and stuff because I love musicals. And
okay.
you could kind of see him get like a little bit excited but not show it.
Yeah,
And then he would go, oh, what is that song? Where is that song from? Like trying to pretend he didn't know. But he
um,
came out and then his guts spilt about musical theatre and I was like, I thought you knew.
and and if he hangs around people who like assumes that everyone else are straight, then
Mhm.
that might be something he wasn't comfortable talking to because it would
Yeah.
maybe have revealed too much.
Yeah, he might have
Um,
been too scared that might have outed him.
yeah, and
It's
now we found you, so then everything's allowed at once.
well, yeah, it was. And then the next time he came, he walked past the shop just to give me a CD of Les Miserables to say thank you. And he was wearing the most brightest top I've ever seen him wear in his entire life. And he was like, I
Mhm.
just got it. Isn't it fabulous? And I went, yes, and so are you. And he was like,
Yeah,
yay, and it's the
cute.
little, well, it wasn't a little victory. It was a massive victory for him.
Yeah, of
And
course.
yeah, it was so amazing and beautiful. And sort of seeing him toddle about his little stick and just like his beautiful top talking about Strictly Come Dancing, like,
Yeah.
and how much he loved Eurovision. It just made
Yeah.
my day. And I hope that, the generations above me who like were still around when it was illegal does eventually make peace with themselves and who they are, and
Yeah.
people around them allow them to just be themselves.
Yeah. Many of them has, I'm sure, already made peace with it and come
Hmm.
out just like him. But there's, of course, many still in the closet, of course.
And only when you're ready, you come out
Yeah.
whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
I just, yeah, it saddened and broke my heart because it was a reminder of, yeah, I have had like a lot of trouble being part of the LGBTQ plus rainbow connection, but I have been privileged because, well, it wasn't illegal as I was growing up, and
Yeah.
I could walk down the street holding my girlfriend's hand
Yeah.
proudly.
And speaking of the words, I like to just say queer. Like it flows easier than saying LGBTQ. But
It does.
yeah,
I just
rainbow connection is kind of fun too.
I quite like the rainbow connection because of the, well, obviously because of the rainbow flag and
Yeah,
the song. It brings a lot of joy to me. And whenever I
yeah,
hear the rainbow connection, it makes me think of the LGBTQ queer community.
yeah,
I will get there eventually.
yeah,
Um, yeah. And I know it does depend on what country you're in, Brainless, but that's what we were talking about as well, though, about trying to work on that. And I think something that can help, not in history but now, is people that are comfortable and confident in themselves, hopefully shine bright and beautiful and rubs off on other people. Not in that way before anybody, before I know them. I know your side chat before any of yous. I'm Michael. You know, I
yeah,
hope it does help people just exist and be the most beautiful them they can be.
yeah. And it things like that does rub off. I mean, it's sort
Mhm.
of yeah that the more people that come out, the more we're visible, and like we will have more openly queer people in the future because of that it's easier to come out for like in general that more people feel comfortable and feel that they can come out.
Mm. And I do like a lot of the history, and there's about all of this as well. Like there was a movie made of it. Sorry, I just read Ox's comment saying cooties, and I'm ignoring Little Wolves.
that's why consent is that's why
Yeah,
consent is important.
but there's the movie, and it's called Pride, and I believe it was about the first Pride here.
Mhm.
And I'm maybe a little mixed up because my brain's not absorbing all the information right now. I'm a little away with it. But it was a very good movie about um a group of people. I can't remember the name of the group of people they called themselves, and they met up with a bunch of people who worked in the mines.
Oh yeah, someone linked that.
It's
Maybe
called
you're the one who
It
linked
might
it.
have been me. It's called
Yeah.
Pride, and the little old lady's like, "Where's my lesbians?"
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that was you.
yeah. I
That's
feel like
great.
everybody should give that movie a watch.
Yeah,
It shows a little piece of history, but it it also shows how far we have come, and we still have some time to go. And I am with you on that, Mark. I've not forgotten. I still have encountered a lot of shtick in my lifetime for being part of the community, but
yeah,
you know, we just have to get up fighting. You know, it's not
yeah,
over till we're all equal.
yeah, definitely.
Hmm. That feels like that's gonna be the moral of the day. It's not over
Yeah,
till we're all equal.
yeah,
Um, 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 I do feel like there's a lot more. Like maybe we could have you on again on another one.
yeah,
To I mean, I can learn up a little bit about the history of the LGBT, the queer community,
yeah.
in the UK,
The
and
queer
then
connection.
the Rainbow Connection. You could learn about it there, and you can learn it there, and then we can like compare when certain
Yeah,
historical dates happened in the different countries,
yeah, that would be awesome.
and or maybe it could be a slightly separate one where it's maybe not on a today, or maybe we could. Maybe we'll have to make up a new show. Hmm.
Maybe. I think it.
Maybe.
I think it might work well for this one.
Yeah. Oh, the alphabet community
Yeah,
says Mark. I mean, there is alphabet mafia. That's what we call. But I kind of think it's about time we maybe wrap up because I should probably be having dinner soon before Slim starts,
yeah.
for sure. And if I can find it, there's a less wholesome channel, and it is Slim's 400 plus roast, where everybody will be, well, roasting them. And I shall try and put that link just in the side chat just now. There you go. What time does it start again? Just trying to find it. It starts in about, I think it's about 9 my time.
Okay. 1.5 hours, more somewhere there.
Yeah, something like that. Trying to find it. Find it. Starts if there's a slim in the side chat. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, in an hour and a half. There we are.
Yeah.
So can we go to? Don't forget to go to Slim's channel for there to be a cheeky roast over there, and Tusk has prepared himself. Be warned.
Ooh.
Is there anything you would like to say, Michael, to as a wrap up?
This has been fun. You're an awesome person. It's always
Oh,
fun to be with you.
oh,
And it has been fun to share a topic that I like that I don't talk about much here because it's usually not that relevant. Like we talk more about science and like talking about people who believe in weird things and sometimes about not so wholesome things, but yeah.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much. If you want to come on
Thanks for having
again,
me.
you know where I am. You're
Yeah.
an absolutely beautiful human that I really enjoy talking to, and thank goodness you
Same to
got your new
you.
set. I'm so happy about that for you. And
Yeah.
if anybody else would like to join Ette's Hobby Corner, May is fully booked up, so have a little think about when you'll be free next and send me a wee message
Yeah.
with your hobby and what you'd like to talk about. And what else do I need to say? Yeah, go to Slim's channel. There'll be a group of us who it'll be rotated. There'll be a roast. I need help. And look out for one another. Be kind. Stay safe. Anybody, if you want, share your links in the side chat just now. If you would like that, feel free.
Link below,
And
please.
Michael, your link is in the description. Go subscribe to Michael. We love her. We want more of her.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Well, everybody needs like the love and
Yeah.
everything. So subscribe to everybody, please. Look out for one another. As I said, feel free to PM me if you would like to join. I'm just babbling now, so I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching, my lovely, lovely, lovely peoples, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, there we are. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wait, how do I do this? Okay, end broadcast. Bye again.